And welcome to another week of Marvel Talk. I am Ol'Ed, and I am joined by the best Super Skrull in the business, the one, the only Andre C. Andre, how you doing tonight, buddy?
I am doing absolutely phenomenal. Very long day for me. Very early morning at work. Recorded a podcast with Melball and the crew from S&ME Radio, and now I'm here with probably one of the most excited things I was going to be doing this week, especially talking about this goddamn episode. Hi, Astrid. Holy moly.
Astrid has seen the episode. We don't have to worry about sending her away. I've already talked to her. She's watched the episode. We're good.
Perfection. Oh, dude.
Non-spoiler thoughts. Go ahead, Andre.
This series just keeps getting better and better and better and better. Like the first episode, I even said it on the first episode. It was fine. It was a good episode. But then episode 2 just killed it. Episode 3 then kills it even harder. Episode 4, while being the shortest show, or shortest one so far, and we are going to spoil a lot. We're going to spoil everything. This is the best episode so far. Lots of revelations, lots of awesome. This one came back with some really great, awesome action. Again, just amazing.
Yeah. This series, they decided to go with something different. So I'll be honest, there's one part of this whole thing I've been slightly disappointed with, but I've been so impressed by everything else that the show's done that I'm okay with it. I came in expecting a spy thriller.
Mm-hmm.
I came in expecting Winter Soldier. I came in expecting spy versus spy. And I'm not getting, not in a bad way, but I'm not getting the spy thing. In
Mm-hmm.
this episode, I'm getting actors acting, and I'm getting a mini series, and I'm getting a television show, and I'm enjoying every moment of it. But I'm not getting what I expected when I started, which was I was expecting a spy thing where everybody's lying and people are going back and forth, and it's very like closeted and it's covert and everything. It doesn't feel like that to me. I
No.
don't get that vibe. It's an entirely different vibe, but I'm feeling it and I'm ready to go with it because they've done such a good job of, hey, we went ahead and got some of the best actors from Game of Thrones. We should just let them do their thing.
Mm-hmm.
We have Don Cheadle and Samuel L. Jackson, who are probably some of the best actors in the world. Why don't we just let them act for once? Like, we don't need them flying around and blowing shit up. We don't need a sky beam. We just need people talking.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little bit of blowing shit up, just a little bit, but not a
Mm-hmm.
lot.
Yeah, dude. I like every expectation I've had for the show has just gone out the window, but in the
Yeah.
best possible way. Like, yeah, I was expecting a spy thriller, but what I'm getting, I think I don't think the spy thriller would have lived up to it, man. This has been absolutely tremendous television. It's the best, honestly. It's the best thing Marvel's done probably since, like, if you don't include Spider-Man, since Endgame. Like, arguably, if you don't include Spider-Man, is this technically a Sony movie? But
I mean, we're forgetting Loki.
oh, Loki was good. Loki was fine. I still think this is topping it. As long as they land it in those last two episodes, I think this show will top it.
They've got a big plane to land in 2 episodes. Like, I'm super psyched for where we are, but they've got to land a whole lot in 2 episodes.
I also don't I don't put Loki as high as other people. Again, that
Yeah,
show
which is
it was
still
very
which
up and
is
down
still
to me.
yeah,
So this
which
one
is
has
still
been up and up and up and up. If they drop in season episode 5, I'm going to just be so devastated.
So, what I think is the greatness of episodes 2, 3, and 4 is the fact that episode 1 was so heavy with lore and so much exposition that they're giving us little bits of exposition the whole way through because they've already done all the legwork in episode 1. So,
Mhm.
going back to episode 1 and going, it was okay. Yeah, it was only okay because it's doing the heavy lifting for every other episode going
Mhm.
forward.
Well, it established all the bases, gave you most of your background characters, kind of set you everything up outside of maybe the council. You set everything up in that first episode so that all you have to do is go from it and just give you more from those points. The super scroll stuff, everything just I'm so happy.
Yeah, it's been such a good show and it's been so great and there's been so many good things happening that I just want to go ahead and talk more about it.
Let's
And
do
you
it.
know what? We're gonna. So the episode ended last week with the call. We had the call ended last week, and then Amelia Clark's character got shot
Hmm.
just before that. We come back to Amelia Clark's character having extremist powers, having before she exited the thing, when she was told to run, she went ahead and continued to use the scientist that we talked about last week. And I said, hey, they made sure to keep the scientist on the TV screen just long enough to tell us something.
Hmm.
She went there and she figured out how to make a super scroll with the scientist and made herself into an extremis super scroll so that she can come back from the dead.
And
Great.
is it? But with stuff come out, is it just extremists?
We don't know. But again, I like the fact that instantaneously we know. One of the big questions from last week, boom, answered, done, moving on.
Mm-hmm.
Just, I love the idea that they're giving us some of these answers right away.
Oh, very
Because,
much so.
because if this were a generic television show with 20 episodes, she'd be gone for 3 weeks.
Oh, very. And that would like just. I'm there's the ups and the downs to the way they do TV now,
Yeah.
and the miniseries, the 10 episode, yeah, it ain't great for writers' rooms anymore, and we're dealing with that with the writer's strike and a lot of things like that. But it's made TV so much more compelling, going down to these 6 and 10 and sometimes 13 episode seasons, where I'm looking at Daredevil and I'm like, I hope they tell a few stories in that one, because let's hope we get like 6 episode arcs.
Yeah, there's just so much going on and so many different things happening.
I don't think it should say non-spoiler on the bottom, because we're spoiling now.
We are spoiling. I have to press a lot of buttons on this show. Unlike other shows where I only have to press a few. We then cut to 2012. And we're in Paris.
Paris.
And we see a newspaper talking about the Avengers and the Battle of New York, and we see Nick Fury walking into a nice little restaurant, and he's dressed in his Avengers best. And he goes ahead and sits down with his beloved, with his wife. And she has a book of poetry, and they're sitting here and they're talking, and he asks her, like any good man should, "Oh, you're reading a book of poetry. What's your favorite, poem?" And she tells him that it's Last Fragment by Raymond Carver.
And you want to do it like they did? Come on, let's do it.
No, we're not doing it like
that. Oh, come on.
Fine. Go ahead.
And did you get what you wanted from this life, even so?
I did.
And what did you want?
To call myself beloved, to feel myself beloved on the earth.
Again, weirdly beautiful passage that they just like, let's add this in. Let's take a strong passage of what every human, and I guess Skrull, wants in this world is to be beloved by somebody, to be beloved by something. It doesn't have to be beloved by the masses, but they want to be beloved by someone or something in this world. And it just was like, dang, yeah. And hey, we did it perfect. Astrid said we did it perfect.
There we go. Astrid would absolutely know. Astrid is the best. We also have in this scene, this is another great, wonderful scene between the two of them, where it's setting up the ground rules and it's setting up everything that goes on between them.
Mm-hmm.
After this, we fast forward to the airplane, where Gravik and his men are getting ready to go someplace. But Pagan comes up, and he's like, "Hey, she's not here. She's not here. Gaia is missing. Gaia wouldn't be missing for this." And he's like, "Yeah, I shot her. I took care of her. She was the mole. Mm-hmm. Now make sure that you act Russian."
And I was just like, okay.
I was so lost at that one at that point. Like, it makes sense later. But.
I realized that, like, they're gonna do some false flag attack. This is a like, they're gonna create some kind of Russian. They're gonna try to, because again, like he talked about in the last one, he wants the humans at war with each other. So again, he didn't get his UN plane being blown up. So now he's going after making a fake Russian attack.
I mean, he's already got the Russians being attacked by the United States. Now he's got Russia going ahead and declaring war on the United States and attacking back by trying to attack. We'll find out later. We then get this wonderful scene in the church where we get the meeting that came from the call, where Rhodey meets with Mrs. Fury. Mm-hmm. And we get this exchange when Mrs. Fury is talking to Rhodey, and she's talking about Nick being fired.
President Ritson doesn't find out that the sun's come up unless I brief him. I fired Fury. Okay? No, sorry, correction. I DDT'd that dude from the top rope. Yeah, it was like Undertaker level.
Yeah, it was like Undertaker level. I love the fact that we are wrestling podcasters that get to talk about Marvel stuff, and they just out of the clear blue drop in a DDT from the top. Undertaker levels. By the way, I'd love to see the Undertaker having ever done a DDT off the top rope.
I've seen Kenny Omega do it. I've never like the DDT hit the Osprey on the top rope, but I've never seen Undertaker come off the top rope with a DDT.
It's just such a funny line to be in there. Like, it makes no sense and it has no reason to be there. But I'm just like, all right, cool, whatever. Like, we'll take it. This is a scene where she's questioning. She's like, why does Gravik want Fury dead? And he's like, it doesn't matter what Gravik wants. This is what Gravik wants, and you're going to do it. And if you don't do it, I'm going to do it.
But even specifically, he says it doesn't matter what Gravik wants. I'm telling you to kill Fury. So it's almost like maybe Gravik's not the one telling them to do the killing. And this is Rhodey's little, I just want Fury fucking dead. That might be it. Again, it might be Rhodey going rogue. Again, he's obviously loyal to Gravik in some way, but yeah.
The other thing I think is funny here is that not only does he threaten her like that, he goes, and if you don't do what you're told, I'm going to do something, and one of you two is not leaving that house.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, ooh, interesting.
Yeah, again, like, this guy is just downright cold-blooded, man.
Yeah. Cold-blooded? Skrull? Rhodey?
No.
We have Ashley saying I had to check to see if I heard it right. Yeah, I was a little bit shocked by that one too. We then have the father-daughter powwow on the father-daughter powwow, where we go ahead and get to see Talos talking to Gaia, and he's like, "Look, I'm sorry that I've gotten you involved in all this. I'm sorry I made you a double-edged spy. I'm sorry that you're playing both sides." She's like, "No, I'm fine. I made those decisions because I believe it's right. Now I'm with you. What's your plan for our people? Because his plan's working. He's doing something, and not only is he doing something, it's getting results. So if I'm going to be on your side, you better fucking have results for me too."
Mm-hmm.
And the best he can come up with is, as I've seen it termed online, the good immigrant policy.
Essentially, yeah. Like, he's like, let's end this war. Then we go to the president, and it's just like that ain't. And I'm entire time he's giving this speech, I'm thinking, man, she better not accept this shit, because this is just. I'm like, that is legitimately one of the worst plans I think he could do. And I'm just like, God damn, if she accepts this plan, I don't know what to think about this character. And she said, yeah, and you're right. She said our people, like, as this, like, they're a whole culture. And again, like, it doesn't even disqualify Gravik in a sense, because he is one of their people.
Yep.
And it's everybody.
And I love that you say, I hope she doesn't accept this, because she looks at him and she's like, don't you want to live in your own skin?
Mm-hmm.
She's like, all right, great. Your plan is to stop the war. Good. I can be on board with that. Oh, you're going to go to the president and tell him that we stopped the war and get our people accepted. Oh, okay. But we have to hide. We still have to continue hiding who we are. We can't be ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's interesting, because we already have aliens living amongst us as themselves in New Asgard.
Yeah, but again, that is a slight difference. Other than maybe Korg and the little, I can't remember the little dude with the knife hands, what his name was.
Yeah, but I know who you're talking about, yeah.
But really outside, like, it's not like the Asgardians look different from humans. They are essentially humanoid, like, they look human.
It's Meek, by the way.
Meek, yeah, Meek. Other than Meek and Korg, everybody's human. And other than, like, when you see maybe Rocket Raccoon showing up on Earth and stuff like that, everybody's human. It still, or looks human. So again, like, Valkyrie could go walking in New York and not have a person turn ahead. Where, again, the racial undertones to it all of not wanting to be persecuted and wanting to be accepted for exactly who you are is very much what this. Again, this is two white guys on a podcast talking about this. Don't get me wrong, but like I understand that factor of what they're talking about. They're talking about just and again, they've probably looked at history, and she's probably looked at history.
Yeah.
It's not been good to people that don't look the same as everybody else, and that is essentially what she's. I think what she feels is like, I want to be accepted for exactly who I am. I don't want to have to be someone else just to be accepted.
I love this because it was funny. I was listening to somebody who plays Marvel Snap talking about people making insensitive and racial comments in their chat. And they specifically were like, I think it's funny that these types of people who follow that belief style, which is more of a right wing conservative style where racism is accepted and you want exclusivity as opposed to inclusivity. Marvel Comics are the most inclusive environment. They were created to foster inclusion.
Mm-hmm.
The X-Men were literally created because of inclusion.
Mm-hmm.
The X-Men at their heart are about racism and bigotry, and that's why they exist at all, is because of that idea. And I love how Marvel has continued in these Disney Plus shows to push racism being a bad thing. If you go back to Captain America and the Winter Soldier, or Falcon and the Winter Soldier, however you want to term it now, that Disney Plus show, there are numerous times where they address racism, with Sam being a black man holding up the stars and stripes, holding up the ideals of the United States out of a country that despises his people. So in the words of the show, in the words of Isaiah Bradley, that no self-respecting, again, not my words, the words of the show, with a black man in the show being no self-respecting black man would ever want to be Captain America. And then to have Sam flip the script on him and have that speech at the end of Falcon Winter Soldier at the end of at the end of episode 6, where he explains that he is a black man who's willing to fight for black people's rights, to fight for everybody's rights. And now we're getting this, where we're getting the Skrulls, who are essentially a new race of people.
Mm-hmm.
And you had Nick Fury, a black man, being quote unquote sort of kind of racist to Talos. When Talos says there's a million of them here, and he's like, this is your stop. This is your time to get out, because we can't live with each other, let alone adding an entire other species to this planet.
Mm-hmm.
Since the moment we learn to walk upright, we've not been able to live with each other, let alone with your kind, is essentially the line. It's not exactly how the line came out, but that's how the line was intended. And it's intended to strike a chord. And this line was too.
Mm-hmm.
There's such a wonderful way that they're attacking racism in these shows, and about acceptance, and about being yourself. And we'll get to that a little bit more as we get going, because there's another scene where we really see that coming through.
Mm-hmm.
We then get the most wonderful scene in the show this week, by far and away for me, the most wonderful scene in the show, which is the sit down between Nick Fury and his wife, when Nick Fury had been listening to the conversation in the church, and he knows she's here to kill him. And he pulls out his gun, and he tells her that he knows, and she pulls out her gun, and they sit and have the greatest conversation.
Oh, it was absolutely beautiful. Like, do you mind if I talk about this one? Just the way these two like interact with each other here, and they both know each other is kind of here to kill the other, in a sense, because like he knows she's going to kill him, she knows he's going to kill her, because he knows what's going on, and the fact that he says, tell me about her, tell me about why you chose this person, the fact that she says she visited her so many times, and then legitimately when she was about to die, flat out asked her to take over her life. And
not only that, she asked if she wanted to fall in love.
Yes, and she told her all about Nick Fury, and then she had to follow by 3 rules. Number 1 was to bury her at sea, which is an absolutely beautiful thing, and again, it takes care of the body. Number 2, to keep being a daughter to her parents, which and Fury says, and you did that.
Mm-hmm.
And number 3 was to never hurt Fury.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, and it's absolutely, and then they replay, oh my God, and then they redo the quote or the late fragment. They redo that, and it's just, and then they pick up the guns and shoot. Like,
And I love how the scene cuts, and they cut to the wall. You hear the 2 guns go off. You don't know who shot who. The 2 guns go off.
oh God, and then they're both just sitting there fine.
Yep, because they both shot the wall.
And Fury coming out and saying, I don't know if this means we have to get a divorce or if we need to renew our vows. That was the absolute perfect line to coming out of that.
And he gets up and he starts to walk away. And he knows that he'll probably never see her again. Mm-hmm. At this point, I think this is his goodbye. And as I've labeled the photo, kiss, kiss, bang, bang, goodbye, my beloved. In the chat, that's how this picture is listed. He gets up to walk away. And she says, as he's about to walk out the door, would you have loved me if I never changed? If I was myself in my original form, would you have loved me?
Oh.
And his response is the dagger through the heart as he just walks out the door. I guess we'll never know. And it's over, and it's done with.
Oh, man. Like, legitimately. Shut, like... If you want acting,
yeah,
this is like Fury. Like Sam Jackson is just
killing it,
so smooth. Yep. Like this guy, he's the ultimate chameleon of an actor. Because like I don't even see Sam Jackson. I see Nick Fury. I don't see Mace Windu. I don't see any of this shit. I don't see the guy from Pulp Fiction. I see Nick Fury.
I see a little bit of the guy from Pulp Fiction.
Okay, there's a little bit there, but again, like I lose myself in his performance, and then the lady playing his wife. I can't remember her name right now, so I don't have it up. But she is absolutely tremendous. Like the scene with Rhodey in trying to save him, and then this scene just like. The passion that comes out of both of these people, and then him putting almost like legitimately putting a dagger through her heart at the end is just
it's been absolutely phenomenal. The writing from Brian Tucker, the directing from Ali Salim, and the ability to just go out there and let these people do their thing, to let these actors act. Is just fantastic. There is no better Marvel Cinematic Universe thing for people just being able to act than this show right now. And it's Charlene Woodward, by the way.
Yeah, I just pulled her up. But like, I think the biggest part of this is every episode has been Ali Salim directing, and it's going to be every episode. Yep. Brian Tucker has a writing credit on every single episode. Like
there is a single vision throughout the entirety of this show, unlike all the other shows where they bounce for directors, and the writers of every episode are slightly different.
Yes, Kyle Bradstreet is the overarching like producer for the showrunner of this show, but Brian Tucker is the head writer. He has had his hands in everything, and it truly gives you a perfect through line. And if I don't see Brian Tucker's name on that show next week, I'm going to be mad because it's gonna be like you fucked up. No, but like I think he was tapped for this show, wasn't he?
I think so.
Yeah, from another show he did.
You know what? We're gonna move on just a little bit here because you know what? We need a little bit of levity. We need a little bit of our heart. Let's give you Marvel's first thirst trap.
Mm-hmm.
We got the Skrull getting out of the shower. Ain't she pretty? Oh wait, that's not a Skrull lady. That's Rhodey, or as I've dubbed him, Scrody.
Holy crap! Like I wasn't sure. I thought it might have been Gaia. Is what I thought with the scene because the Skrull looked very feminine. Again, the body, the face, everything. It just seemed very feminine. And then it turns into Rhodey, and I'm like, well, I knew he was a Skrull, but like, goddamn, like,
Yeah.
and
And that's why I titled it Thirst Trap.
And he turned and still pretty good thirst trap in Don Cheadle. That guy's a pretty sexy man. I'll tell you that right now. But it's just, you look at it and you're just like, holy fuck. So how long? And now all I can think is how long he's been a Skrull. Again, I really hope it's post Endgame, as we talked about last week. I hope his Skrullness is post Endgame because it does mess up a lot of emotional things. But again, it could be end of Iron Man, like between Iron Man and Iron Man 2 when he got scrolled over. You never know. You really, really don't. And I'm down as fuck to see where this goes. Because, yeah, it was weird. It was odd. It was very odd.
Going back to Scrody and going back to when he's a Skrull, my thing is going to be, he claimed he knew 15 years ago. What if Rhodey never knew? What if Rhodey was taken 15 years ago? And if we go 2025, which is where the Marvel Cinematic Universe is supposedly at for date and year, we're somewhere in 2025. If we go 15 years back,
2010, Iron Man 2.
2010, we're Iron Man 2, we're pre-Avengers, we're right in that timeline. I'm just saying, they've set some pieces in place, and it could go that far back. Because if he's not known because of the fact that the U.S. government knew, and we don't know how much, there's so much telling information in this episode about what people know and when they know it, things like that. We get on in the scene. Nick Fury breaks in, and he has the wonderful bottle of bourbon. 23-year aged old pappy.
I agree. Yeah. I agree. Mind blown.
Yeah. We have Fury, and we have him and Scrody going back and forth in this fantastic scene where where Nick Fury's basically telling him that he knows that he's a Skrull. He's like, hey, you know what? I got the secret. There's a Skrull in the U.S. government. And Rhodey's like, really? You don't say. How high up in is he? He's like, yeah, he's about as close to the president as you can get. Oh, well, how close is that? Oh, he's about as close as you and me. And Rhodey's guard drops just a little bit when that moment happens. Because he thinks Nick's going to come after him. And he's like, you know what? I'll shut up. I'll keep my silence. I won't say anything. As long as you give me my job back. And he's like, you know what? Nick, I got a counter proposal for you. I caught you in 4K, bitch. There you are shooting Maria Hill in 4K.
Yep.
And you want this? Fine, you can have this copy. I've made others. He's like, you know, I might be able to keep myself quiet for one of these, but I've got multiple copies. And he's like, what are you going to do? Oh, an alien took my body? Oh, yeah, I'm a big 6-foot black man alien with one eye. Yeah, sure. Now, mind you, there is a precedent that the world knows of shape-shifting aliens. There's no reason why the world wouldn't believe that. Remember, in She-Hulk, we had the court case with the shape-shifting elf from New Asgard.
Yeah.
Where she was pretending to be Megan Thee Stallion. We already have it set in stone that the governments of the world understand that there are shape-shifting aliens on Earth.
It is
Why
true.
wouldn't that pass? Why wouldn't? Now, granted, everybody's going to say that there's a shape-shifting alien. I agree. It's not a good defense. I'm just saying, the way Rhodey plays it off in this scene is like it would never work.
Like, legitimately, and this is going to sound weird, if Nick Fury gets arrested next episode and we do not get Jennifer Walters, we do not get She-Hulk in that episode, in this, just to be his lawyer at some point, they failed. If they're going to arrest him, she's not the right tone for the series. But if they arrest him, it has to be him, or it has to be her, I think, more than anybody, because she is the well-known person, or it has to be Matt Murdock. It has to be one of the two. And like, it would be a crazy great cameo, but I don't think either character would fit for this series. But again,
they're not going to arrest him. This is going to go further into the spycraft. It's going to go further into shoot, bang, bang. I don't think we're getting into the legal sense here. I don't think we're getting anywhere near there. But they go ahead and they're drinking that wonderful bourbon that Astrid tells me they sell it.
Hoppy.
Yep. Astrid, you can go ahead and tell us about that bourbon, as I know that it is sold at the company that you work for. That they you guys distribute that. But we get Rhodey on the airline as we get the President Ritson, coming to England to go ahead and do some stuff. And he looks at Rhodey and is like, have you been pre-gaming, Rhodey?
Oh my god! Because Rhodey gives this whole big like pep up speech. Is like you're going through it, but you got to be steel, so they stop at you. And then he's just like, his entire takeaway is, have you been drinking? And it's just, I laughed so hard when I saw that scene the first time, because it's like he's pretty much just negated everything Rhodey just said, and is like, you're drunk. Then tells this guy, get him a big ass coffee.
Get him a large coffee. To which Rhodey on his way back is like, can I get a damn mint?
Oh god, it was just such a perfectly placed, funny scene.
But then we get the scene that we've seen in all the ads. We've seen it in all the trailers. We've seen two images. We've seen the motorcade getting shot up, and we've seen I Am Gravik.
Mm-hmm.
As we see Gravik going ahead and using his group powers, going ahead, reaching out and grabbing a guy and crushing him.
Yep.
This is the first big action scene of the entire show. Like, we have the scene with the bombing in the first episode, but that's not really an action scene.
There's been little ones here and there, but like this is the
nothing significant.
Yeah, this is the big crescendo scene of it so far. It's just a moment of like you've been having all these little conversations and some spycraft and people playing one-upmanship on each other, and then you get the let's blow shit up. And they do. They blow up helicopters. They're blowing up cars. They're just, again, absolutely tremendous. I thought, like, especially how they built to it in this scene. And then Gravik running through, yelling things in Russian. And
to sell the Russians attacking,
Yeah, and everybody's talking Russian, and everybody's attacking, like blitz attacking, just like the Russians would do. Like, as Gravik said, I don't think, again, that's what they do. They're kind of proves it over in Ukraine, but they're kind of blitz attacking, and again, it really played, and they have no idea what's going on until like Talos. Like Talos, I think
was safe to get to Talos.
No, but I'm saying Talos, like just the way he's acting in heroic in this is absolutely tremendous.
Yeah. So the motorcade gets shot up because Rhodey calls in a thing to Gravik. And he tells them that Citadel, that's the code word, the scroll code word for the president, is in motorcade car number 4.
That's just legitimately, I think, if you know anything about Secret Service, they give the president a code name.
But it's not Citadel. It's not typically Citadel.
But every president has a different one.
True. I mean, I guess it could have. But how would Gravik know what the president's call sign? I think that's a scroll.
Because Rhodey just called him it. Again, and then you hear his protection detail saying Citadel's alive, and they're saying they're calling him other people, like people that are protecting him are calling him said Citadel.
Okay.
So I think it's a reference to his actual call sign, like to what it.
I initially took it as a scroll one, but I guess that it makes sense that it would be the other one. Either way, while everything's going on, Rhodey's sitting comfortably in his car, just waiting for everything to finish. I love that. I love that split second scene. I don't think anybody else notices it, but it's a split second scene where he's just chilling. He's just chilling.
Just absolutely beautiful. Him just like, oh, when are they going to kill the president so I can come out look? And I guarantee you he had a War Machine armor somewhere in there, like a nanotech version of his War Machine armor, ready to go so that he could cut once the president got shot, he could take somebody down so they could install. I guarantee you this was a ploy to install him somewhere.
Not only that, remember, in Captain America, Brave New World, and no longer New World Order, now Brave New World, we're getting President Thunderbolt Ross.
President Ross. So again, this show, I think, has to give you the bridge to get to President Ross.
Absolutely.
Again, is he? It will, because again, we'll get to the president in a minute here, but like, he may not make it.
I agree. So Gravik goes ahead and shows off that he's now got 2 of the 4 powers that we've seen so far. We've now seen Groot. We saw Extremis last week. It's assumed that he now has the other 2 as well.
I would say with the fact that he's getting shot and nothing. Well, again, that's extremist. But again, you didn't see it glow. I'm pretty sure that's just more Cull Obsidian's just overwhelming power.
Yeah,
there, him just absorbing the shots.
We then see Nick Fury and Talos get there, and they have some backup, and they go try to save the president. And while trying to get into the motorcade, Talos gets shot.
Yeah, and he starts de-changing. Holy shit! And
then he's trying to break the window, and he's just pounding and pounding away, and somebody notices, and they go, "Alien!" And then one guy turns to try to start shooting them, and Fury's like, "No, no, no! He's with me. We're good. Continue." And he looks, and he waits, and then he does. He turns away and goes back to shooting somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And they get the president out. And they get the president to the car. But at this point, Talos is in bad shape. He's exhausted. He's been shot. He's now fully Skrull. But you know what? That guy who noticed him, he's going to help him. He's going to carry him to the motorcade. Or not. It's Gravik.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, the visual transformation of Astrid right here, with talking about the visual transformation of him and him like being half human and half Skrull at one point when he's trying to hold on and trying to stay alive was absolutely phenomenal. Like they did it so well in that scene, and you could see the struggle of him trying to keep his transformation while trying to save the president. It was just so good. And then Gravik just has to ruin everything.
Yeah, Gravik decides everything has to go bad, and he stabs Talos in the heart, or at least where the human heart would be.
Mm-hmm.
To which I've titled this, "Every fucking week somebody dies."
Yep. Oh, fuck, man. This one, like Ben Mendelsohn.
Yeah.
Like, when he in Captain, I thought he was one of the standouts in Captain Marvel. He was so good there. And then in this series, all 4 episodes, he's been like just a superstar in these 4 episodes. And just it broke my heart to see him die. Now again, it's Marvel, anything can happen, but he's not a Super Skrull. They left him laying there. He's gonna get dissected. We all know that. Like I have a feeling. What's her face? The MI6 chick. She's going to be involved in getting that body, like Sonya Fallsworth. She's going to be involved in getting his body back because, like, she's gonna pull some kind of MI6.
I hope so, because Gravik Person is the leader of the UK, so it'll be interesting to see the power play here.
And then she's going to send whoever her Tom Cruise is, to Mission Impossible, that body back to her and to Fury, because they're not going to let him. I don't think they're going to let him get dissected. I really don't. But
and just to continue with that, after he sees Talos get stabbed, I have it as bang, bang, bang. Nick Fury lets off a bunch of shots. They all get absorbed by the Extremis, the Cull Obsidian of it all. Gravik just doesn't. He takes every shot, 2 to the chest, 1 to the face, where just the Extremis comes in and it just pulls it off. Tom Cruise, yeah. I mean, it is Mission Impossible week here, so
I'm saying it's her version of Tom Cruise. It's not going to be Tom Cruise, but really, I think you could introduce, if you want to introduce some other like spycraft characters into this, you use that as getting his body back as a scene in the next episode, and create. Do you want to bring in a new character, and have this person be working for MI6, but eventually I know will become MI13, and I really think that needs to happen. We'll talk more, but yeah, dude, him unloading into Gravik though was awesome.
Yeah,
and the shot to the face, well done.
And like Gravik just cuts away, and he gets on a motorcycle, and he's gone.
And so many people have complained about the CGI. I thought that CGI looked again. I haven't had a problem with any of the CGIs in any of the movies, any of the TV shows. Again, I'm not a snob to like. It doesn't have to be perfect to me, but that CGI looked tremendous. Like his melding his face back together. Oh, and
I've seen no uncanny valley in this entire show. I know that there's been some Marvel properties where the CGI hasn't been great, and there's been moments where it's been lackluster. In this show, I have seen such an amazing job by the makeup team, by the special effects team, by every team working on this show from top to bottom. There is no team letting down this show. The writing, the directing, the action, the set piece, the settings, every single thing is hitting on a million points of power. It does sound funny. It sounds great. But you know what? In just a quick 36 minutes, this entire episode was over.
mm-hmm.
We've talked about this episode longer than it took to watch the episode.
Yeah, but it's so much to dissect from this. I'm trying to think what the next episode is going to be, and I think we're going to get I think we're going to finally see Dermot Mulroney get to axe his ass off across from Samuel L. Jackson, because they're going to be in some sort of safe house, and you're going to get that scene where those two are talking down. And he's going to tell him Rhodey's a Skrull. He's going to explain the complete Skrull situation to him, and it's just going to be this beautiful. I think. I cannot wait to see Dermot Mulroney step up to the plate and really hopefully get into the leagues of everybody else he's been working with.
Asher says this one went by too fast for me. Yeah, it was over and done with before you even knew it.
Yeah.
I unfortunately know I've watched the Disney Plus trailer for next week's episode.
I have not. I'm going to, but I have not.
I have seen it. I do know what happens. I will tell you that the confrontation that Fury has with X character about what happened in this final battle scene is going to be one of the best scenes in the movie, in the show, I think we are going to see, I can already tell you, if this scene goes the way I think it's going to go, based on the two characters that I know that are in it, I can't wait to see how this goes. I will not confirm nor deny which two characters it is. I will say it is Fury and somebody else. Whether it be Sonya Fallsworth, whether it be Gaia, whether it be Talos, whether it be Rhodey, whether it be Gravik, whether it be President Ritson, Dermot Mulroney. There are so many different ways that could go. But this next episode is setting up the portion. We've seen it in the ads where he goes, I need to fight this war on my own. We're going to get that going forward. This is going to be the catalyst for Nick Fury becoming the Nick Fury of old. We've spent this entire show talking about how every character in the first two episodes was like, Nick, you're too old for this. You can't do this. You're a step behind. You can't do this. We're going to finally get Nick fucking Fury back in episode 5. I think episode 5 is Nick Fury getting back on the horse.
Well, I think even the end of this episode is him getting back on his horse, because he felt by the end of this episode with the whole scene, he felt like Winter Soldier Nick to me. Yeah. Like he felt like that was the Nick by the end when he drove away. That's the Nick we had back, was the Winter Soldier where he's taking fire, where he has to use that minigun. That is the Nick Fury we had at the end of this episode, and that's the Nick Fury we are getting for the rest of this goddamn series.
Based on the scene that I've seen and the language I've heard, there's another level coming. We're gonna get to Avengers level Nick Fury.
Yes,
when he's at his best and he's going at the World Security Council. We're going to see, because Nick Fury hasn't hit his worst point yet. We're about to see Nick Fury hit his worst point.
It's true,
because I think
lost his best friend
again, and I'm trying to let those who want to be unspoiled to go into it. But like I said, this is going to be the ad that you're going to see for the next week, advertising episode 5. It's in there. It's not hidden. You're going to know right away who he's consorting with, and it's going to be a banger. But speaking of banger after banger after banger, Andre, where can the people find you this
Yeah,
week.
you can find me over on Andre and Melball Wrestling Talk every week. Where you can find me and Melball breaking down some New Japan Pro Wrestling, the Independence Day shows. We got some Stardom Midsummer Champions show we're going to be breaking down this week, along with a special G1 preview / fantasy draft that we just conducted earlier today with our friends over at Sunday Night's Main Event. They will be putting it out in an audio form, and then we will also be dropping the video on our channel, Andre Melball Wrestling Talk on YouTube, where we're going to be having the video of the myself, Melball, Boris, Matt, and Pat all breaking down and picking our teams, and I got them right here, and I think I did pretty good. I got scooped by Mr. Matthew Edinburgh, and I scooped Mel twice, I think, and she got kind of mad. So I don't know if our friendship's going to be the same after this.
And you know where else you can find Andre and Melball Wrestling Talk? Over with our great friend Mike the Ref, whom we will be rating at the end of this show. We're going to go ahead and send our Twitch audience over to Mike the Ref. So if any of you watching on YouTube, you can go ahead and over there. I'm going to be loading up that in just a few minutes. But again, Mike the Ref and his Backbreaker Media is fantastic. You can go ahead and catch all of his stuff there. He's a friend of the channel. He helps run Astrid's making an impact before it wasn't on hiatus. So definitely go ahead and check that out.
And lots of great content on his gaming channel, Backbreaker _gaming on YouTube.
Yep. He does fantastic work there. He has great stuff with Kayla J. He has stuff from other people, including I know Rick Jules. I forget who else is.
PJC is on there too.
Fantastic stuff over there. You can find me right here on Ed Fries 12584 on the Twitter, the dumpster fire that is Twitter. I don't have the Hive, the Mastodon, the blue sky. I don't need no blue skies. I got my gray skies. It's fine.
I just got threads, you know.
I don't need no threads. I got a shirt. I don't need no extra threads. It's all good. You can also find me on the Twitch at EdFries2002, where I do all of my gaming content. Later on, sometime this week, we're going to go ahead and jump in. I recorded a video. It's going to be the start of my next stream, where I go ahead and open all of my streaming account on the Marvel Snap for all of the Spotlight caches that came out this week. So I got some new cards. I got one of the Series 4 cards for the first time on that account. So you can go ahead and check all that stuff out. Every Tuesday, you can go ahead and catch me in the Great Astro Bazaar as we talk all things NXT as we get ready and we're headed toward the Great American Bash. This week, it was Carmelo Hayes' Judgment Day, over as the Judgment Day finally made their way to NXT. You can catch me, right, like I said, right here every week with Andre as we either go live or we go recorded as we talk all things Marvel. Don't forget, coming up after we have a little bit of a break here, our October is going to be jam-packed. We have Loki Season 2, weekly episodes dropping for that. We will have, on finale week, we will have 2 episodes that week where we'll be dropping the season finale of Loki, where we'll be going ahead and talking with ourselves and hopefully some friends as we talk all things Loki Season 2. We're then going to go ahead and have me, Andre, and maybe a friend or two going ahead and talking all things the Marvels. Captain Marvel 2 comes out. We're going to be going ahead and talking about that the next time we're going to see Nick Fury after this, most likely. We are then going to go ahead and jump right into a binge episode of all of the episodes of Echo.
Jesus.
Our Thanksgiving weekend special for the United States crowd. Thanksgiving weekend for us, not for you Canadians who can't seem to get any of your holidays right.
Real Thanksgiving's in October.
Real Thanksgiving is in November. But you can go ahead and catch all of us. Yes, also Ladies Wrestling Showcase with both of our tag team partners together on their own show. Andre and Melball, and mine with Astrid. She's talking about Ladies Wrestling Showcase. All kinds of great content. Give me a moment. Andre, go ahead and bye for time while I go ahead and get the Twitch up.
So thank you all so very, very much. If you're watching on YouTube, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you can, hit the notification bell so that you're alerted every time OLE drops some new great content. And also, when you're on there, please throw some comments in the comments down below because we want to hear from all of you.
One of us will definitely be in the comments every week to go ahead and respond to anything that anybody leaves there. We are definitely big fans of going ahead and talking to our fans and going ahead and answering questions and seeing other people's point of views. But we're getting ready in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Our Twitch audience is going to go ahead and raid into Mike the Ref and his AEW watch along. So all of you enjoy that. For the rest of you, we'll see you next time. Goodbye.